He was the 2018 fastest reader in Nigeria. You know the funny thing? A lot of people don't believe that. They say it's scam.
So, concerning speed reading, far back 2014 to 2015, Port Harcourt rulemaking. The guy is in the medical college in Uniport currently. His name is Benaya or Diabara. So I gathered these little kids in making secondary school, and I took Benaya to 4,007 words per minute.
I heard that you once finished a Unimen exam in less than 5 minutes. So
Yes, I did. I did. That should be 2000 and a very long story. It's a very long story. This was a course I had. It was a carryover from my 100 level. Now, it was not that I failed it, my 100 level. It was that it was suddenly missing. Like missing script, you get.
Your final year?
My final year.
Almost serious school.
So, well, it was not going to be so risky for me. I knew I was going to pass it.
So there's a level of confidence that comes to mastery.
It was amazing. I finished, I think that was 60 objective type questions in 5 minutes. So there are further evidences. The lecturers, one, his name is Mr. Imoitinya. My first degree was in petroleum engineering Uniben, and the other one was engineer IK. So they both said it's a lie that the exam papers got leaked and I spied. So
12 engineering questions per minute.
Yeah.
Or more.
So now what happened was this. George, shout outs to you. All right. He was having carryover courses.
Okay.
2 exams that same day. All right. So what I wanted to do was finish my exam. Since he had 2 papers, go and take one of his papers to read it up for him so that he can concentrate on one, then I'll teach him the other, then he can pass. You get. By 5 a.m. that morning, I had finished the 500 slides and the foot. I'm saying names.
I don't understand. 6 hours.
Yeah.
500 slides.
No, that's not the real issue here. Don't worry. Just watch. I finished the 500 slides. I finished the notebook. Then I reversed it 7 times, and I had slept. George, his name. I'm saying George.
Revised it 7 times.
Then this is the why call it this is the catcher. This is the catcher. Then I got to the exam hall and started teaching others ahead of the exam. The persons that did not understand it, after I was done, when the result came and they had a B, I had an A.
To say I'd be your classmate,
Again.
I think being your classmate. Welcome to the Beyond Hustle series, where we will be teaching you how to turn your skill into a business. And just like we already know, a whole lot of Nigerians have skills, a whole lot of Nigerians have many things they want to do, they have ideas, but they don't know how to turn it into a business. And one thing I want you to know is that your skill can make you 6 figures, but you need a business to acquire contracts and deals that can make you 7, 8, 9 figures. And in this series, I'll be bringing up a whole lot of internet marketers, people who are very, very rich in content and value, to come share their experience with you. If you have someone you want me to bring on this series, you can write their name in the comment section. I'll shoot them a DM, and if they accept, you certainly will be seeing them on this series. So I have with me here Coach BlackMan, and just like you already know, my name is Fortune Namdi. I help revive dead businesses. I help people make 7 figures every single month, monetizing what they know. With me here is Coach BlackMan. He was the 2018 fastest reader in Nigeria. You know the funny thing? A lot of people don't believe that. They say it's scam. But he's here to tell us by himself. So Coach BlackMan, what do you have to say about that? Talk to us. Let's know.
All right. So my name is Coach BlackMan Mullen. That's that's the skull cracker name.
What's the meaning of the name, please?
I don't know. All right. So there are 2 languages I know how to speak: Pidgin and English. So that's just the 2 languages I know how to speak. So concerning speed reading, far back 2014 to 2015, Port Harcourt rulemaking. The guy is in medical college in Uniport currently. His name is Benaya or Diabara. So I gathered these little kids in making secondary school.
Yeah, I like the way you drop the evidence.
So gathered them, and I took Benaya to 4,007 words per minute. Yeah.
Wait, I don't understand. Like 4,000 words per minute.
4,007 words per minute.
Not per hour, per minute.
Per minute, because we're calculating it. Now, many persons actually feel like speed reading is not real. Well, I don't really think that is true. Why? Because if you get to think about how you think, you probably will have maybe like 50,000 thoughts per minute.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so it shows that your mind actually your mind thinks at a much more faster rate than you speak. So, or you even in quotes read. So if you could retrain how you read, the skill set for reading, you could at least take a percentage, a fraction of how quickly you think, and that will translate to how quickly you read. And so what you need to do, reading is a skill basically. What you need to do is basically it's more like upgrading your former skill sets when it comes to reading
Wow.
with something more superior than what you were taught, and you'll be good to go.
So sorry to cut you short. I heard a story. I would like to call it a rumor because I don't know how true it is. So I heard that you once finished a Uniben exam in less than 5 minutes.
Yes,
OBJ.
yes, I did.
Oh boy.
I did. That should be 2000 and a very long story. It's a very long story. This was a course I had. It was a carryover from my 100 level.
Whoa.
Yeah. Then in school, I was very connected. I was very interested in taekwondo, b-boying. I used to dance, football, and so on and so forth. So, school for me was not just about reading.
Okay.
So I don't know. Somehow I was not. Somehow I was not so informed with the certain things to do
In school.
in school. Yeah, because it was more like a combination of lots of extra subjects along with what I had to do in university. So I had to take 100. Now it was not that I failed it my 100 level. It was that it was suddenly missing.
Oh,
So like
missing.
script you get.
Wow.
And so took it down. Had to. Then I'll tell you guys two stories. The persons who are witnesses to this is Kome Owe. He used to stay in
see
there. Yeah, I want
evidence.
to give evidences. He used to stay at the SSQ. Think our SSQ was 836, so his should be, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 831.
I just
If I'm
hope
not
he's saying
mistaken.
he's going to-
I hope he does. He's in Port Harcourt right now.
Okay.
Last time I checked. And the other the other person who witnessed this, my friend George Afambu, is in Germany now. All right.
Mad,
So what happened was, took it down to the final year period when we were about to round up, and so I decided to pull up. I call it a Goggins.
You don't know me,
You
sir.
don't know me, so put it
Wait,
up.
in your final year.
My final year.
Almost serious school.
So, well, it was not going to be so risky for me. I knew I was going to pass it. So
There's a level of confidence that comes with mastery.
it was amazing. I finished. I think that was 60 objective type questions in 5 minutes. So there are further evidences. The lecturers, one, his name is Mr. Imoitian, and my first degree was on petroleum engineering, Uniben, and the other one was engineer IK. So they both said it's a lie that the exam papers got leaked and I spied. So
12 engineering questions per minute.
yeah.
Almost.
So now what happened was this. George, shout outs to you. All right. He was having carryover courses.
Okay.
2 exams that same day. All right. So what I wanted to do was finish my exam. Since he had 2 papers, go and take one of his papers to read it up for him so that he can concentrate on one, then I'll teach him the other, then he can pass.
He did an exam for
I
you.
did not. You get, so that was it. They searched around and there was nothing there, so they let me go. That's not even for me. That was not the peak of my abilities in school. So there was a time that, like I said, I used to do taekwondo, martial arts. I did b-boying. I was very, very fit. I still am kind of
Very, very fit. You don't want to jog with him.
but I think those were my peak years somehow in terms of physical ability, but not really mental. Though I think I'm far stronger now than I was then in school. So what happened again? I think around that particular period of time, I had missed some classes in a particular subject that we were given then in school. We missed a whole lot, and so because I knew that I had accelerated learning, I could take certain kind of risks that other students could not take. Yeah,
Very important.
So normally, you have this prospectus where you can get to check out what you guys are supposed to cover per semester. I didn't know that the what happened was that with there was this new employment of new lecturers. So a new lecturer came in for that course, and he came along with his upgraded knowledge and syllabus, different from what I was expecting and what I've been preparing for. Now that particular subject, that was PEE 451. Yeah, I've not forgotten to. My what I used to do then to my classmates, that when I'm done reading, I'll go to ninth class. You know, we used to have clusters of petroleum engineering students in the Faculty of Engineering reading ninth class law. We also had some in agric. We had some in Faculty of Education. So I'll go around these places, hitting them on their head.
Hey,
you understand?
Jesus!
Like, so what are you doing now? You understand that kind of stuff. So when I went to the first place to, look for trouble as usual, the first person I remember I met Ugaga, one of my classmates then.
One of my classmates in secondary school, her name is Ugaga. Ugaga Ifene.
I met Ugaga, and I was like, guy, how far now? And I was like, how far P 451 you get? And the guy was like, yeah, now the jack, so my old boy. So when I looked into the material I was reading, it was diametrically opposite from the material that I've been reading. By that time, I'd read that, according to the prospectus, I'd read it 7 times over.
7?
Yes, I'd read it 7 times over. So I looked at it, I was like, this is not. Well, I was like, which course? Which course be this? So like, which course be this? Because I was like, yeah, have fun. I said, now exam will get tomorrow. By this time, it was close to 11 p.m. in the night, and we had this course 10 a.m.
Final year.
No, this was penultimate year.
Okay.
That's before final year. Yeah. So I was already doing crazy stuff before the final year. You get. So I was like, okay, like I don't understand. So I started looking out for materials. Now this guy had not covered this material officially, so he could not give it to me to go and photocopy. Oh God! So I started making calls around. Called Ivan, then called another lady, another girl like that. I've forgotten her name. So she was the one who gave me the material. Now the material had a full foolscap sheet, like type notebook one, and 500 slides. So 500 slides plus a full foolscap sheet of notes. So now this was already 11 p.m. I was not relaxed. Definitely. This time around, I was really tense.
Under pressure.
And the exam, I remember the exam the next day was by 10 a.m. So this was less than, let's just say, around 13 hours to study 500 slides and a foolscap sheets of paper, the notebook. Like the notebook, not foolscap sheets, like the notebook, 80 leaves, long, you know that long man.
I know the notebook.
So finally got it from, I don't know why I'm forgetting her name. She stayed in the SSQ, then got it, then came back to where I usually study in pharmacy. So I just rested. Then we used to have me and George. George is my best friend in the university. You know, we used to have this rule that the moment we come down to we call it a fortress of solitude. What we get to do is we take bread and juice first, then relax. By 5 a.m. that morning, I had finished the 500 slides and the foot. I'm saying names.
I don't understand. 6 hours. You finished 500 slides.
No. That's not the real issue here. Don't worry. Just watch. I finished the 500 slides. I finished the notebook. Then I had reversed it 7 times, and I had slept. George,
6 hours.
I'm saying George
revised it 7 times.
Then this is the why call it this is the catcher. This is the catcher. Then I got to the exam hall and started teaching others ahead of the exam. The persons that did not understand it, after I was done, when the result came out, they had a B, I had an A.
If to say I be your classmate now, I didn't be like your classmate.
So now I started practicing real crazily 2010 when it comes to accelerated learning, right? So Then I used to take law courses. I remember there was someone who was having issues with law, but she was in ISD. You know, they have some the general courses that they share with law students. So I think this was business law. She had just a night before the exam. She had an A. Because what I wanted to do was I wanted to test whether what I was doing was working, not just only in engineering, but in other knowledge fields. You get, so those were the beginning times of accelerated learning. So that's basically it. Fun times.
Wow,
Fun times.
I'm speechless. So maybe you don't know about accelerated learning, but then he has a brand, do you understand, where he teaches people how to read very fast. And you're not just going to be reading fast. You read fast, you will understand it, you're able to teach somebody. I think you teach the entire WAEC syllabus in how many weeks?
The entire 6-year WAEC syllabus in less than 6 months. So I can take a child who is having pure, no, you know, when you have a reiteration of F9s, I can take the child from F9 to A1 in less than 6 months.
So if you are a parent, you are watching this video and you want your child to pass WAEC, all A's, parallel A's, Coach BlackMan is the guy for the job. And he reads an average of 5 books every single day, an average of 5 books per day. I don't know how he does it, but the only thing I can say is So if you want to reach out to you on social media, how can we do it? How can they do it?
Because I'm more active on Facebook. I'm more active on Facebook. I'm also on WhatsApp and also on IG too. I'm on IG, but I've not been so active for some time.
It's not active there.
Yeah, I'm not okay. I'm not even active there. And please bear with me because of the huge amounts of research and continuous training that my kind of work usually demands. So on Facebook, you can follow me on Aigremolen BlackMan.
Could you spell the Aigrem?
Yeah, AIGBIREMOLEN. BlackMan spelled together. Yeah. So that's the guy.
Would you want them to reach you on WhatsApp or Facebook is just perfect?
WhatsApp would be awesome. Okay. So you could reach out to me on 081 6565 4698. Yeah. That's my WhatsApp line.
When you call your number, I just remember the days of my jam. I memorized over 100 contacts by heart.
Wow.
And I can still remember majority of them here now.
Wow.
So what I did then was I kicked up with people in my house. I memorized my 2 numbers, my dad's 2 numbers, everybody. And it got to a point. If I want my guy, I lived with him in Osasoge 2015, testimonial full. I can still remember his number. Wow. 09095369616. My guy Theophilus 08104363695. I can remember majority of them up to date. So I'm beginning to connect 1 or 2 dots now, and it's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So you need to have a friend like Coach BlackMan. Yep. He's your coach, he's my guy. Okay, so I have a few questions to ask you because people, they are inspired already by your story, but then I want points they can pick to run with. Okay. It all begins with a passion, and then the passion grows into a skill, and then you convert the skill into a business and stuff like that. So how did you move from being this passionate guy to being this skillful guy?
Okay. From passion to skill, I think that would be a mindset that is so much in love with reality. All right, I'm a student of reality, and there's this ongoing, very popular cliche of following your passion. And I think that's one of the quickest ways to die.
Sure.
All right. If you don't attach a certain level of wisdom and awareness to those words, the thing about being passionate is that your passion is something that is deeply connected to your authentic purpose, and it's something that you would naturally just do for free. Yes. However, therein lies the danger, because if it's something, how do I explain? Let me go deeper. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I am feeling like I should go deeper into it. Your definitions, whether conscious or unconscious, are your limitations. And I found out that in this environment, in this climate, a lot of persons, they have lots of assumptions that they don't even know. We might call it beliefs, but they are really assumptions about how life.
No conviction yet.
A kind of assumption, like you believe. Okay, you can call it beliefs, but you are assuming the way life operates, and
Without
it's not true.
concrete
You get
knowledge.
a picture.
Yeah.
You've not really critically thought it through. And so there's this, if you get to take the half message of follow your passion, what start happening is that without you consciously defining what that follow means, the word follow means, you get to find out that you just follow your passion
And end up broke.
and end up broke and not impactful. Because what really gives you the leverage, the point of leverage for you to be really impactful is money.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if you're coming from that perspective of follow your passion, what starts happening is that if you don't deal with it consciously, you start feeling guilty connecting money with your passion.
Very true. I have a lot of people who are in this category now. Like they don't have the guts to charge someone. They feel it's a sin.
Yeah. And so it's almost like what you call the bohemian artist that just wants to be an artist for art's sake. Yeah, but man, you do the most fantastic kind of work, but you not be rewarded properly for it.
And I think I need to chip this in. If you are that guy who is always following your passion, please, you are in Nigeria and you are living in Nigeria and you know your passion cannot feed you. So what I advise people to do is keep your passion one side. Go after something that can make you money so that you can fund your passion. Because Nigeria does not reward creativity. You should know that by now. Nigeria respects how deep your pocket is, not how creative your mind is. So I'm not saying you should throw away your passion. I say keep it to one side. When you've made money, you can go back to your passion. I have passion. I like to play drum. Jesus, I'm a gamer. By now, I'm supposed to be streamer. I'm supposed to be all those guys. But
on YouTube,
I want to make money. I want a ball. First of all, when I don't make money, finish now. I think I'm going to do streaming. You understand? So what he's saying is very, very important. And also, when it comes to passion, there are 3 eyes you must focus on. We have the impact, we have the influence, and then the income. When you have passion, the first thing you do is to impact 1, 2, or 3 lives. And by the time you've impacted them, they have testimonies. You can now leverage on that testimony and those lives to build an influence around your passion. And it is that influence you begin to monetize that creates income. So I like to put it this way: impact plus influence equals to income. Or better still, directed impact plus influence equals to income. So if you're that guy who is always impacting life, but there's no system of influence around it, you will not move towards income.
Yeah.
You will not.
Yeah. So I feel like that was a very necessary foundation to lay so that you know where I'm coming from. So the shift from passion to skill, that shift came up from I'm pretty much very observant, obviously, of not just internal processes, but the environment, the response of the environment to what's going on the inside. So I got to find out that if I'm to make the kind of impact I really want to make, it seems as though there was just this feeling of there was something off. The impact was, you've seen me do crazy stuff.
No, man.
Not once, not twice. You get that some things I can't even talk about online for now. So it was not about maybe the content or the abilities or how sharp the skill set was, but I got to find out that there was a difference between the skill of the business and the business of the skill. And I learned it the hard way. The skill of the business and the business of the skill.
I dropped a tweet, I think that was last 3 months, how that you will end up in frustration when you master a skill without mastering the business of the skill. So you see a lot of graphic designers, they know how to design very well, but they are terribly broke. Beautiful nonsense. So if you are learning a skill, if you are trying to master a skill, one of the things you need to learn is the business of that skill. How can you turn that skill into money? And that's why I major. I can teach somebody how to make money from molding sand, and I'm not joking about it. I've created a lot of wonders online. I have a 16-year-old girl who I taught how to monetize her knowledge. She moved from being broke to 416,000 in 1 month. I have a guy who, when he was writing jam, he made 1.8 million in less than 6 months.
Amazing.
So no matter how young you are or how old you are, the internet space is a very broad place. Anybody can make any amount of money. So long you know the buttons to push and all that. Very important.
So like he's the guy when it comes to monetizing your skill set. You must know. Now understand this. In our climb, by a climb, I mean the Nigerian environment. There's a whole lot of proliferation when it comes to beautifully packaged nonsense. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you should not master your skill. However, if you know that you are no, you are in the you are a master of your skill, but you've not mastered the business of your skill, then you need to meet up with people who could help shorten your learning curve. All right. So that's what I decided to do. All right. That's why I decided I meet him. I meet him basically to teach me the business aspects of my skill. All right, the business aspects of my skill. I'm good with accelerated learning. You could bring anybody experiencing any kind of learning block, and I'll dissolve it in the shortest possible time. But that does not translate to the business of the skill. And you come to find out that the business of the skill is very hard.
Very hard.
The business of the skill is very hard because you're having different kind of components. You're not just talking about copyright. You're not talking about branding. You're talking about understanding the psychology of the market.
But when it comes to the business of skill, after consulting for a lot of people, one of the biggest challenge I've discovered is not even the effort you have to put into making money when it comes to your skills. I've discovered a lot of people have very limiting mindset. So I met a guy who is very, I'm not saying he's limited, no, but let me explain what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I met a guy, he's actually a FIDE master. If you play chess, you know what FM is. The best chess player in Uniben 2024, 2023 also.
Yeah.
His rating on chess.com is over 2,400. Very good. But when I began to introduce him into the internet, almost see, you can make at least 3 million naira every month just by creating a course. And the guy was like, it is not possible. Nigerians don't do that kind of money. If it's outside the country, no problem. And I was like, Oga, let's strike a deal. Create the course. I will hit 3 million naira. I'll take all the money. And when you see me make the money, we can now talk about how to split it.
Yeah.
And that was when he became interested. So because of how long we have been in a particular situation, it becomes very hard for us to respond to change.
Yeah.
So in as much as they know they have what it takes to make money, they don't believe they can make money.
Yeah.
And that limiting belief is usually one of the first things we have to break. Not just I have to break when I'm working with people like this.
Yeah.
It's worse than the effort you have to put into actually making money.
Yeah. And the easiest way to break that limiting belief is simply expose yourself to a different energy from the one you have. It's just that higher energy level. I think one of the times I started experiencing a jump in my income was when it's very funny. So it was the beginning of a particular year. I've forgotten which year now. And there was a building project in church that I had to be like the secretary around. So I was sent by my pastor to go meet one of the, what I call it, the patron that's in charge of overseeing the project to get. So it meant that my entire January, list of activities I wanted to do for that month of January, in that month of January for my business, I just threw it into the dustbin because I had to report to the man's office almost every day. Sometimes you might not be in the office. I would have to wait there for a period of time and so on and so forth. But guess what? I noticed that without me doing anything directly concerned with my business, my income jumped by ×3. Just being around
a particular energy level,
the man, and seeing what was happening. I don't want to talk about who he is. You get a picture. Like, I mean, he's well known in this state. So like, oh my god. I was going through my financial record, and I was like, I did not do so and so things that I said I was going to do in the month of January, February. Why this jump? What was I spending all my time doing January, February? And I got to find out I spent all my time with the guy.
I've noticed something, that when it comes to getting big results, what contributes to big results are little actions.
Yes.
A compilation of little actions. So that thing people call a big break. It's not just a big break like a big bang. No. It's actually a compilation of many little efforts that was piling up somewhere until, the Bible was saying, if the cloud be full of rain, will it not empty itself? That kind of situation.
And so Tim Ferriss said something. He said there are 4 W's when it comes to wealth. what you do, where you do it, who you do it for. I don't know why I always forget the fourth one. And what you do.
Why you?
No, it's not even there was no why.
Okay.
What you do. So let me explain. What you do, for instance, if you're using 16 hours to do Zobo and you're using 16 hours to encode software, you're both working 16 hours.
True.
But you're having definitely different results.
True.
From the same amount of work put in a way. So that's a tale of what you do. Where you do it talks about your location.
Yeah, the environment.
I've remembered the fourth one. At what point you do it. Now, where you do it is different from at what point you do it. At what point you do it is a point of leverage, but I'll come to that very soon.
Okay.
Now, where you do it, if maybe a maid, a houseboy, for instance, and I am a houseboy in the University of Benin, so I get to take people's or any university, federal university, I get to take the clothes of people to wash and you understand, and maybe students in the off-K. The kind of pay I might be having there might be different from doing the same thing in Lekki.
Yeah.
The kind of pay I'm going to be having in Lekki might be different if I'm doing it in the Buckingham the Palace in the UK.
Yeah.
That talks about the where. So sometimes what is needed is a gradual progression along these W's. Sometimes what you need is not extra hard work. It's extra what you've been doing leveraged into a new environment. That's what I was talking about, energy. You get a picture? Like, obviously, if you've checked through his records online, he's done $1.2 million in terms of in sales.
Yeah,
I've not done that yet.
Okay.
So it's obvious that if I want to naturally soak up the energies around sales, I should spend more time with him.
Sure.
You get a picture. And so you have what you do, you have where you do it, you have at what point you do it, then you have with whom you do it. So you find out where you do it and with whom. I love that with whom. That energy. Oh my god, that's so you see the same thing, exactly the same thing you're doing. You're not changing a single thing.
Nothing.
Just a break into another space. Just a break into another different ecosystem. You'll be paid like times 20 of what you used to do at a particular amount that you could not even.
Is it less work, more money?
That's the shocking thing. Like
to make more money, funny enough, you have to do less work.
High value clients, they have this high value for time so much. They respect your time like you've never had your time respected. It's amazing. And so those are some of, if you're feeling like you are working too hard in terms of what you're doing currently, you might just need to think about leveraging rather than working extra hard. At some point in time, there's just so much energy you could expend on a task, and so you have to transit from working hard to working higher, and that's using your mind.
From working hard to working higher, or more. So because of time, because I think we're already, let's move on to the next question. So how were you able to move from a skill to building a business around your passion?
Okay.
And also, sorry, can you share us how you made your first whatever amount of money, and then how you broke into your first 7 figures, and then how you continued in that light?
Okay. First 7 figures. The first 7 figures didn't come as a
one-time
payment. It came up with very sharp and very is it sharp? It's not sharp. What's the word now? More like very disciplined financial habits.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was very intentional that I wanted to make 7 figures. Now, of course, you know, when you're working, you have overhead costs and so on and so forth. And so I had those overhead costs. However, I what's the word? I committed to saving 40% of my income.
40%.
40%. Yes. Committed. Like, in fact, if you're in my household, that's what you save. 40%. And it was, I learned it from Joseph. You know,
7 years.
Yeah, Joseph's 7 years of plenty that took care of this thing, farming. So now, if you did the calculation somehow, roughly, it was not 20% he was saving, but from you know, there was a time where he got everybody's monies, and he had to sell them back their property. And so they were giving a particular amount to Pharaoh, 20%. So I wondered, I was like, okay, if this guy was doing this at 20% and it's made for so much prosperity, if I double it, what's going to happen to a family? Because he was doing it for a nation. Yes, so that's why I decided to go at 40%. Get a picture. So that was how the first 7 figure came in. Then how did the major shift, like I said, from passion to skill, was just that I think it comes with the first sale.
Yeah. I remember my first sale, 3,000 naira.
You get it? Sure. It comes with the first sale. Like, okay, this thing that I'm doing for free, someone actually is ready to, not just pay me. Someone is ready to pay me for it. Like someone is hungry
to
pay me for it. You get? And so from that point on, what you want to start doing is basically upping your game. You increase the value that you bring for your clients, or you give to your clients, then you increase your price. And that's how it has just gone. All right, that's how it has gone. The skill from passion to skill was, like I said, I'm a student of reality. It's if I wanted to make if I wanted to be impactful to 1.5 million persons, for instance, and imagine that there are no external investors. I'm not taking any grants, I'm not taking any loans. How am I going to do that? It obviously means that I needed to have very well leveraged systems of making money. Making the money, exchanging my time for money, then saving a whole lot, reinvesting in other investment opportunities, and just scaling from there. So that was a very important part for moving from passion to skill. The other part had to do with mindset too. Mindset, I had to deal with a whole lot of this wrong, there are some very harmful beliefs, and I believe one of the things that have not been properly defined for us is philanthropy. All right, so I felt there was a time that I gave 4.5 million naira. I can't, if I'm to tell you as my coach now, if you even invest for me, there's a time I gave 4.5 million naira worth of free services, because I was too guilt filled concerning money, and there was so much.
You're feeling guilty to charge.
There was so much connections between money and shame for me, so I had to deal with that.
It happens when the person is trying to break out from a poor setting.
Yes.
Because one thing I've noticed is that the rich people, they are actually used to selling from a very small age. But the reason why a lot of poor people stay poor is that when we were born into, for instance, a poor average family, and then the first thing they do, once they give you money, go and buy. So Alpha, Benga, come and buy me pepper and Maggi. Come and buy me water. Come and buy me. And so that child grows up believing that as soon as money enters his hand, is to buy something. But a wealthy person does not behave that way. So the thing that happens is that poor people were born into a buying economy. So as soon as money enters my hand, I have to buy something. But a wealthy person was born into a selling economy. For me to make money, I have to sell. And after selling, I have to keep a profit. And after keeping the profit, I have to reinvest into what I was selling. And so I now discovered that most times, one of the reasons why we even end up poor is because we're born into a poor ecosystem. We stayed in that particular zone, and then we kept on living there. And the funny thing is that we left the environment, but the environment did not leave us. So you see a person left Ajegunle, went to, let's say, anywhere, London, and the guy left Ajegunle, but Ajegunle did not leave him.
He's still going to the mirror image of the ecosystem.
A lizard in Nigeria is a lizard anywhere. If you like, go to Australia, you're a lizard. Go to Belgium, you're a lizard. So majority of us are more like that proverbial lizard. Wherever we go to, there's a seed of poverty. And that's where a coach comes in. What they do is that over time they gradually remove that seed of poverty. And the first step is actually by redefining a lot of words, because I've noticed that when it comes to your mindset, how you define words matter a lot. If I ask you what's the meaning of this, and I ask someone else what's the meaning of this, you discover that the difference in reality is the difference in definition of words and stuff like that. So I kind of vibe with what you are saying.
Yeah.
Most times, the problem is that poor people are actually born into a buying economy.
Yeah.
While the people were born into a selling economy.
Yeah. So please, I feel like I should add this. When just the same way that there's a lot of shame-based emotions when it comes to money. I also want you to not have, if maybe this is just hitting all the right spots. I also don't want you to have any shame-based feelings concerning being born into a poor background.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be ashamed about it. See, it's all programming. The moment you can just simply take it down to the basic stuff it is, which is just programming. So it means that transitioning from a poverty-based mindset to a wealth mindset is simply reprogramming.
Yeah.
So do you get?
Learning and relearning.
So these are just learning and unlearning and relearning processes. It's just what it is. It has nothing to do with your person. Do you get? You are not poor in terms of, or in terms of your value, in terms of your worth. You are not poor. You just have a poor programming. And the programming is a skill. I want to define what a skill is. A skill is anything that you are not born with. So my ability to use this phone, for instance, is a skill, because there's no baby that was born with the ability to use a phone.
True.
So similarly, your ability to be poor is a skill.
So
just the same way. Yes. Now the thing about a skill is this: that anything you call a skill can be improved for efficiency and effectiveness. So you can become more effectively poor, or more efficiently poor, or you could decide to be more efficiently rich and more effective. For instance, you notice that what you need to do to get to 1 million is not what you need to do to get to 100 million.
Sure.
It's not what you need to do. What you need to do to get to 1 million, what you need to do to get to 10 million is not what you need to. So you see, in these gradations, there are different responses of the skill level. The skills that need to be brought to the table.
0 to 1 million is more of effectiveness.
Yes.
1 million to 10 million is more of efficiency
And systems and points of leverage. Yeah, so that's it.
So we've said a lot. We'll be ending it now, and we'll be having a part 2 definitely, because we've not said anything.
Yeah.
So we'll be having a part 2 and maybe a part 3 and then maybe a part 4. So if there's an internet marketer you want me to bring live, you want me to bring to the studio, all you need to do is let me know in the comment section. I will bring them. So let me know, what was that one thing that stood out for you? What is that one thing he said that stood out for you? Let me know in the comment section. See you.